Hi, this is Dave Chenault with Skylight Systems, and I'm going to give you a quick run through of SideKick 365 XRM. This video is going to be a review of the basic functionality of the sales management process that the application was written for. Also realize this is pure SharePoint 2010, and it can be run on-premise or up in Office 365. It was written from scratch to be run in the cloud, so it uses sandboxing, declarative workflows, and no full trust server-side code. Okay, let's get started. Looking on the left side are the main modules in the system. As you'd expect with any sales tracking system, it's going to have your accounts and opportunities, contacts and meetings, etc. But some of the other things it includes are notes, projects, which we'll talk about in some detail, marketing events, which are going to be marketing campaigns, and then these items on the bottom are related to the security and how you set up security in the system. Let's start with the leads. We'll take a quick look at what a lead has in it. And this is a live demo of, we're actually running up in Office 365, and you'll notice how fast it is. Microsoft's done a terrific job of building out the infrastructure, and we can all benefit by putting applications into the cloud today. Moving along, you'll see we've got lead. Across the top we have tabs that relate to this specific lead, so additional information, etc. If you notice, we've got the screen split into two tabs, and we did that because this application runs great on an Apple iPad. We didn't want to have users scrolling through long screens, so we used tabs to move between sets of data that fit nicely on one screen within the iPad or a tablet. It also works great on the slates, and in some respects, the integration you can get with Office there makes a slate even a more attractive tablet to work with. Also looking, you're going to see meetings and contacts, tasks, etc. And let's take a look at notes. This is kind of interesting. So let's say I had a phone call with this particular lead, and I'm going to add a new note. So I was on the phone, and I want to make a note of that, so I'll just call it Great Call with Gene on 5/25. And I can put down a synopsis of the call. Gene and I talked about the new RFP coming in 2 weeks. Okay, and I can insert images. I can have a full text capability here that SharePoint gives you. It's just great stuff. I can also relate this to a marketing campaign. So if this was a result of some sort of a seminar we had done, I could then mark it here, and later on I could see what kind of notes and opportunities and deals came as a result of that marketing campaign. I'll talk about that a little later. I'm also going to indicate that I'm the owner of this for security. So in this case I'm logged in as Pecos Bill, and I'll go ahead and select Pecos, and I'll tell it what business unit it is. In this case it's the Southwest. And I'm going to then just assign a task because there's an RFP coming in 2 weeks, so I should probably call Gene in a week. So let's go ahead and do that while we're here. I'm going to say call Gene to get RFP. And it's going to be assigned to me. And again, I'll give it my priority is going to be high because I don't want to miss that. This one will be a phone call, and I'll have it due in a week. So let's make it due on, well, we'll say the 31st to make it easy, by 5 o'clock. And I'll say call Gene to get update on the RFP. Now I'll go ahead and create a task and go back to my note. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now what's really neat about this is I've done a couple of things in a very fast way. I've got a new note here associated with this particular lead, as you can see. I've also going to have a task in my task pull downs. And it'll tell me that I'm supposed to call him on 5/31. But what's also nice is if I come out here to the main screen, you'll see that I have a new task in my task list here that's open. So we'll come out here and take a look at our open tasks, and there it is, call Gene to get RFP. I'll scroll on down so we can see that. So there it is there. And I can click here to see it, or of course I could go to my tasks and take a look at it there as well. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to get around the system, and I'm just trying to show you basic functionality. Okay, so leads are interesting. They have a lot of capabilities, and if the lead actually becomes an account, and the way our sales cycle works is that leads don't have any opportunities. They're just, someone you're tracking, but as soon as they have an opportunity, you can then convert them into a prospect, and we have a little workflow to do that here that could take Apollo Industries, and it would then show up in the account. Okay, so let's take a look at accounts. Now, accounts are interesting because accounts have two statuses. An account can be either a prospect, or it can be a customer. Okay, so customers have done business with you, and what makes them a customer, let's go take a look at JPL, is that you've got actually what's called an accounting ID associated with them. Okay, so if I look down here, the accounting ID field is blank. But if I had entered these guys into our accounting system, I actually issued a bill, there's going to be some kind of ID that has been identified in that system, and we would type it in here, and that would change this guy into a prospect. It's a very simple process. I'll just type in a number here, and you'll see now he's a customer. This number is key, though, and I'll show you why in a minute. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. I don't really want to put that in right now, and he's back to a prospect. I'll just hit the back button. But what that's important for is this tab right here, the Build tab. So if you have customers, okay, and these customers have got billing, we can actually hook it up so that we can take data from your accounting system, you can feed it into a data mart, and we can give you summaries by month of what's actually been billed to this account. And this is a dream for a lot of salespeople and sales managers because they can go into accounts and see what's billed versus what was forecast in the opportunities. And again, the way we do that is with a data mart on the back end. We're actually working on some things coming out in the fall that'll let you hook this up all in the cloud. But for today, the data mart probably would be on your premise, and then you would just go ahead and push the data up into our system. It could also, of course, work 100% on your servers. So let's go and take a look at opportunities. We have some opportunities associated with this particular deal, or this account. Here's one, Cassini-Huygens. And Cassini's got 75,000, develop a public-facing website, etc. And then it has its own different items here across the top with meetings and tasks, documents, etc. This is an interesting tab. This tab, the Revenue tab, is a way that you can track how much you think the deal is going to book in each month coming up. So let's say this deal was $45,000. The salesperson could say, well, I'm going to get 700 in February, 700 in January, 800 in February, March, etc. And then go ahead and edit that spread and change it as needed. And what's nice is we can then create reports showing us how we can spread this revenue, what's the cash flow expected to be. So it doesn't even have to equal. It can, but it could be that the sales rep is kind of fudging a little bit, and that's okay. He might want to put a factor in here if he's not sure if this deal is going to close. So I'll put another 10,000 July. It's very flexible is the bottom line, and we could make it so that you have to equal the amount of the opportunity as well. And let's go back out to the main page and take a look at a pretty interesting little dashboard item here. What this does on the main page is it's going to show us the forecast of all the opportunities that I'm allowed to see. Remember, everything's got security in it. So I'll scroll on down. And I can see there's that 10,000 I just put in for Cassini-Huygens. So what's really great about this is as a manager or a person running the business, I can start to look ahead and say, hey, how much money do I expect to have coming in this month, and what deals are they associated with? And then on the back end, I can tie that in with the ERP system to say exactly what did we bill. And there can be some gap analysis run between the forecast and the billing so that you can start to manage your sales team a little better and make them, let's just say, a little more accurate on their forecasts. Okay, we'll keep moving here. I don't want to make this too long of a video, but we've gone through accounts and opportunities and leads. Contacts are really interesting. Contacts are a standalone module, and then you can link these contacts into basically anything in the system. So let's look at Gene Cernan, and we can take a look at his main information here, and he can have meetings and tasks and documents, associated emails with him, notes, etc. But let's look at his all activity. That's pretty interesting. And we did a lot of work to make this work properly. But what it does is it shows us that we've got him associated with one lead here, Apollo Industries, and with 3 different accounts. So it's very powerful, because what this is letting us do is it says, I want to see everywhere I'm working with Gene. Maybe I'm going to have lunch with him. And I could quickly go here and say, I've got 3 accounts that I work with him, and I've got a lead. And this is very common when you work with manufacturing reps. You can tie these reps to multiple deals and multiple accounts, and you can look in one place to see all the places you've worked with them. It's very simple to attach these people into all kinds of things in the system. Let's go over to projects, because this will give us a good way to talk about those. So projects can be associated with a lead, with an account or an opportunity, or they can just be standalone and not associate with anything. And I use projects all the time. They're a great way to keep track of things, and you can invite people in and out. So they're sort of like communities. They're collaboration sites. Let's take a look at this one. It's associated with that opportunity. So here's the information here again, the familiar tabs. These are going to be emails and links and meetings associated with this particular project. And if I look at the members, I can see who is allowed to see this. I don't have anybody added. So if I wanted to add people in to start collaborating with me, I could do that here. I can do groups or users. But here's my people links. And I should see some different folks here. Let's say I'm going to add in Gene to this one, okay? So right now he's not a part, but I want to say, hey, I'm working with Gene on this particular project. He's not actually a member of it. He's just somebody that I'm tracking that might be associated with it. So I'll pick him. It'll go grab all of his information. And then I can just put on the security again of who should be able to see this particular link. It's going to be Pecos Bill. And I'll put down, it's the Southwest Business Unit. And my comments are, Gene is driving a new RFP. And we'll save this. So I've now associated Gene with this particular project. Okay? He's not a member of the group, but he's someone I'm tracking that's associated with this project from the customer standpoint. And now if I go over to my contacts and look at Gene Cernan, and take a look at all activity, you can see now that I've got a new link and that I'm working with him over in the project. So I hope you're starting to pull the pieces together there and see how powerful this system is. It lets you see all the places you're working with this guy.